Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the most laughable figure that I've seen in a long time. This is the Marvel Legends Magneto from the wave of Marvel Now X-Men from Toys R Us. And oh my goodness, what a missed opportunity by Hasbro. Magneto, one of the most wanted figures to be remade for a very long time. The original Magneto had those apey proportions, the weird articulation, and just didn't look that good. So Hasbro thought they'd take a whack at it, and they made a Magneto that has apey proportions, lots of problems, and doesn't look that good. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this guy. It's an abomination. It's not very good at all. Let's look at it. Just over 6.5 inches tall. So size-wise, it's okay. It's mostly the Drax, Shield Agent, Nick Fury, Dum Dum Dugan body. You know, we have that torso, the shoulders and biceps, the thighs. It's pretty much that body all the way around. We have new forearms, new lower legs, and a new head, obviously. So this part of the body is okay by me. The belt is really bland. It's supposed to be just a plain old flat piece. So that's okay by me. That's not a problem. It looks alright. It is metallic. That purple is not, so that's okay. That's about it as far as the changes go, being positive. We have a fist on this side and an open hand on this side, which would have been okay. You know, you could put him in the kind of pose that my custom Magneto was in a lot of the pictures I made. But this hand, the fingers are kind of spindly looking. It looks a little bit weird, but that's not the big issue. My big issue is that the wrist swivel does not happen at the wrist. They made it happen back here underneath this kind of extended piece here. So the wrist swivel is where it was on all of those other figures that use this arm, but it doesn't work for this guy because, as you can see, it's sculpted for the forearm musculature like that. So when you turn it, it's just goofy looking. It looks like his arm's broken. It doesn't look right. It's okay, I guess, at some angles, but it's just weird. And then the same thing on this side. As you turn the arm, the forearm turns halfway with it, and it's not horrible, but it's just something that they could have easily made a wrist swivel, and they didn't. So that's disappointing. So as far as the paint job goes, I don't know. I guess there's some shading, but it's horrible. It's like a grayish black shading that's just kind of sprayed wherever they felt like spraying it. He's got it in his armpits, or at least on the insides of his biceps. He's got some on his quads, and then some on the inside of his legs and lower legs. It's not actually shading, it's just sprayed gray paint that looks bad. There's none on the outsides of the legs or arms at all. There's some, oh yeah, we'll get to that. There's some on the torso, but it's just kind of very faintly put on there. It looks horrible. They put this purple square of paint on his upper torso and neck, which is kind of this glossy purple, and it doesn't match any of the other purples. This cape and collar piece are kind of metallic. They almost match this, but they don't. The hands are kind of metallic. They almost match other parts, but they don't. Same thing with the boots. The red paint on the insides of the boots don't match anything. Same with the arms, and they're poorly painted. There's red hanging over. Doesn't look very good. He's got gigantic feet that look horrible. It looks like he's wearing some kind of slipper or something. The ankles don't look good. Everything about the lower legs is bad. The way this swivel works and the way the legs line up is horrible. It doesn't look natural in any way. There's huge, like almost no plastic in between here and here for the boot. Then there's huge chunks in other places. It's just completely unnatural looking, so that's no good. The cape itself is sculpted really well. I would not have any problem using that and throwing some paint on it for a custom. The cape looks great. It pegs into the back, which would have been good if it fit on the figure. So you can peg it in, which is fine. It'll hold it in place. So that's a fine idea. That's okay. But you peg it in, and then the cape sits like that on the figure. So not only is it too big across the shoulders and basically everywhere, it just floats there because of the way it's connected. It doesn't come down the way it's supposed to. It's oversized, I think. The poofs are way too poofy. You can see the arms just swimming around in there. So it's just a horribly executed figure. It's really not good looking. It almost looks worse than the original Toy Biz one that didn't look very good to begin with. So there's that. And then we have the head, which wow, it's not doing anything to help this situation at all. The only, I guess, saving grace of this whole helmeted head thing is that the helmet is actually a fairly decent sculpt of the helmet. You know, there's really not too much to complain about. They gave him all of the sculpted parts all the way around. This looks a little bit lacking detail, but it looks all right. So the helmet itself is fine, but that face, oh no, no, that does not look like it should. He's got no cheekbones at all. He's very gaunt looking. His eyes are super wide, and he's got that same square nose, square jaw look that almost all of the male legends have had over since, what, 2012? They need to get some more variety in the facial features. This just looks really bad. He almost looks like, oh, I can't think of the actor's name. Never mind, I won't go there because I can't remember it. But it's just, it doesn't look right at all. And the head, the way they made it with the helmet, it looks really round and chubby looking. It's just, oh, it's not good at all. And then to make it even worse, standard ball peg that we've seen on this body a bunch. You know, they've been using this. The head doesn't go on the peg. I mean, it's on there, but if you turn it, it comes right off. So I guess that could be just a flaw that my figure has, but you cannot put it on all the way. And it's just really, really clumsy, crappy excuse of a figure that should have been easily the anchor for the wave. You know, maybe not for moms buying kids for their toys, but for collectors, who doesn't want a badass Magneto figure? I mean, this is just, you can see that purple coming through underneath. The cape doesn't fit. The hands look goofy. The feet look goofy. The paint looks goofy. Really, the only two things that are good, which is good for a customizer, is that the cape is good and the helmet itself is good. You're not going to get much else out of this guy. So unfortunately, guys, this Magneto is a big pass. If you are looking for a good Magneto figure, this is not it. Sorry about that. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.